I'm from Tennessee, and every so often I like to watch on YouTube some good old Appalachian documentary type videos. People going and talking to the hillbillies in the area where I grew up. There's a Mennonite community in Muddy Pond where I grew up, and there have actually been some documentaries done on those folks, and I just really enjoy it. And there's something, though, that bugs me. Sometimes they'll go to these poor coal mining towns that are really run down, and there's a lot of meth and a lot of fentanyl and a lot of drinking, a lot of poverty, not a lot of working. Everything's all shut down, and it's just a place of despair, the poorest counties in the country kind of places. And I often hear people who are being interviewed say, well, the coal mine shut down and they don't care about us. They shut down and they all they did was say, "Hey, we're not here anymore. You have no job. Thanks for what you've done." And that was it. They went away. And they'll say, "Well, they're not doing anything to help us around here. They're not, there are no jobs, and we're trying to tell Dollar General to come in because that would give some jobs to the area. To let people be hired to be clerks and such, but they won't do it." Who's this they? This is something that I think goes beyond just poor Southern folk, which that's how I grew up. Not saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying monetarily poor people from the Southeast, from Appalachia. There's this kind of thinking that they owe us something. I don't know who they is, but I don't think they owe us anything. A job at a coal mine or anywhere else is a relationship. And for a time, you were getting something out of the relationship. You were getting money. And the person who was hiring you, that company, they were getting labor from you. And you guys had this relationship and you both agreed to it. And you did it for as long as it worked for both of you. But just like you would have every right to quit if you ever wanted to, they had a right to quit also. Just tell you to quit. It's just as good. It's just good for as long as both parties want it to be good, just like any relationship. If you're dating somebody and they say, "Hey, this is enough, we're done." Yep, that sucks, but you're done. They don't owe you anything. You had a relationship, and now it's over. Then this idea of thinking that the government who's sending all these checks, a lot of people in the Southeast are getting checks. They're not proud anymore. They've given up. They rely on their disability check, their food stamps, EBIT, or whatever it is, and a lot of people on government welfare. They've given up on being a proud person. And I'm not saying you can't be a proud person and get welfare. Probably 5% of people who get it have, some situation where they lost their legs and they have Down syndrome or something like that, and it's not like they could, just because they lost their legs, they can't go get a job telemarketing or starting a company or something like that, training themselves over 6 months to be really worthwhile in the AI industry. Like, there are a lot of things people can do, but there are people who completely are down and out, and they don't have what it takes physically or mentally to get ahead. And I feel for those people, and I'm not saying that every single person who is on welfare should be ashamed of themselves and they're bad. Not at all. It's something that the government offers, and I guess as long as the government's there, churches aren't going to try to compete too hard, or other groups. So it is what it is. But to think that there is something for the able-bodied person who should be out making life happen, no, they don't owe you anything. And there's something else here that really bugs me. People will say in these shows, they'll be, "I'm here forever. I was born in this holla and I'm going to die in this holla." There's just no jobs around here. It's called a clue, folks. I'm sorry if your parents took you to, I don't know, Death Valley, and for a while there was a solar farm there, and people got wise and shut it down, and your parents lost their job. Sorry all that happened. But you don't have a right to a job in Death Valley. I know you want to be there, but if the free market, if the economy isn't offering jobs there, if there aren't stores and businesses and factories, and if stuff's not happening there, you might need to move. And that's unfortunate. But the deer deal with this. The deer will be eating in a place, and then winter comes and it's snow covered and there's nothing to eat. And then they move down south to a warmer area where there is something to eat. And the same is true of all critters, humans, other critters. You go where the food is. You go where you can make a go at life, and you don't have a right to any particular little place. So this is kind of my hey neighbor, step up, make something of your life talk. That's what I'm talking about here. Is just we need to reach down, find something in ourselves to make life happen, and not all of us are going to be successful, but many of us can be, or at least more so. But we won't be successful as long as we're blaming they. Quit blaming they. Start looking at the person in the mirror. Blame them, but don't spend too much time blaming. Get busy learning new skills and going where you can trade those skills for money. Because money will buy you food, and money will buy you housing, and money will buy you most things. And maybe you don't like that. Maybe you wish everybody could just love each other and there'd be plenty of food that falls out of the sky and nobody has to work for it or organize its delivery. Yeah, maybe you wish all that. And they've tried it places and it hasn't worked. So as of today, you have to go out and earn your bread.